Don in London, hello. It's March 15th, 2010. I just said March 15th, it's not. It's March 13th, 2010. My video is all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. And my videos are a personal journey sharing what I've learned over the years, what it's like to be sober, one day at a time. And my addictive substance was alcohol, so I'm a recovering alcoholic. And my behaviour could be equally addictive to work, relationships, materialism, anything to do with people, places, things, collecting, exercising self-will, learning what self-will was, letting self-will take over, or rather thinking I was in charge of life, my life, when I wasn't really. We are interdependent on everything. Everything is interdependent. It doesn't mean we have power over or have power over things or people. Particularly if we have, then we're in a control mode, and as much as we're controlling somebody else, their behaviour controls us, and that's called codependence. So these days I prefer to be interdependent, making life choices based on what is in front of me and what I've learned so far. So, an alcoholic, 35 years of drinking. I don't know when I crossed the line, probably with the first drink, which made me feel different. It fixed something inside me. I felt warm, happy, joyful, relaxed, and I was just a kid. But it wasn't then full on from there on in. It was on and off, and then became more and more something which I used to fix me when I was stressed out, could not sleep, or was facing some sort of fear. And as time went by, obviously, if we are becoming able to fix ourselves, there is a dependency there. So I developed a codependency on a substance and then on behaviour, fixing myself by working harder, trying to improve my relationships, you name it, on and on and on. And self-will wasn't self-control, it became self-obsession, and then self-will run riot. So what keeps me on track these days? Well, family, friends, community, and a fellowship. And that fellowship is AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And I don't speak for it, I just speak about me, my recovery, and how AA has been integral to my recovery. So I'm not a spokesman for AA. And I don't want to be, and I don't want to challenge how AA runs or anything like that. My job, if you like, is to share that there is a way out of addiction and into recovery one day at a time. So I do share about AA because it saved my life, and I lean on fellowship when life is going well, or whether it's just going okay, or whether it's going badly, because it's a collection of people who have wisdom about sober living and how to face reality. Facing reality on a daily basis without a fix. Or maybe, well, we won't go there. So, how does fellowship help me? Well, if I share the AA preamble and some of the readings and what it does for me, how it impacts, then job done. So, what is AA? I share the AA preamble and statement of intent, and it goes like this, if I get it up the right way. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help other alcoholics to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is the desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And I've already done some of this today with phone calls and helping somebody just make a difference in the way they were trying to approach something. They were trying to battle through a fear. And what I've learned is if we actually embrace the fact that we have a fear about something and ask for help in the situation we are, and that's exactly what they did. They asked for help. It had nothing to do with fellowship. It had to do with making a decision to do something which they were afraid of. and they've done it, and they didn't have to battle it, and they're all right. So in real life, AA gives us the opportunity to get a toolkit called the 12 Steps of Action to Change Attitude and Behaviour, and they work if we work at them. So I share Daily Reflections, this book, and in it covers the 12 steps and 12 traditions of AA. 12 steps are about open, honest, willing to take action to change our attitude and behaviour, and it's about action to change our attitude. So there's no fixing as such. We can't fix ourselves with an external, I don't know, suit of armour, if you like. All we've got is who we are, and we can develop our spiritual awareness, that is, the spiritual connection that we all have to everything that is happening. So this book helps me, and I don't always agree wholeheartedly with everything it says, because we're human and we have our own outlooks and we develop outlooks, and the written word becomes obsolete or historical, and then we find new words which are going on all the time. So for March 13th it says here, a world of the spirit. I agree with the sentiment. Don't ever misunderstand me. I agree with the sentiment here. We have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. The word entered and the phrase entered into the world of spirit are very significant. They imply action. Always action is the key word here. A beginning, getting into, a prerequisite to maintaining my spiritual growth. The spirit being the immaterial part of me. Barriers to my spiritual growth are self-centeredness and materialistic focus on worldly things. Spirituality means devotion to spiritual instead of worldly things. It means obedience to God's will for me. And for me that's about truth, love, and learning wisdom from others. I understand spiritual things to be unconditional love, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control and humility. Anytime I allow selfishness, dishonesty, resentment and fear to be a part of me, I block out spiritual things. As I maintain my sobriety, growing spiritually becomes a lifelong process. My goal is spiritual growth, accepting that I'll never have spiritual perfection. And what a good place to finish in that book. And I was thinking about it because, you know, we do develop our own outlook and attitude, and as I say, in principle I don't disagree with that, but I've altered the words so I understand them in the context of my life, and so I've understood it this way. I understand spiritual to be everything: unconditional love, joy, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, self-control and humility. Anytime I find I am selfish, dishonest, resent and fear to be part of me, it too is spiritual, because it's part of my learning. Sobriety and being spiritual is a lifelong process. Spiritual being continues, accepting there is nothing outside spiritual. It is my conduct and choices which make my life what it is today. So the quality of my life is about the quality of my life always for me. Everything is spiritual for me, the good and the bad, because without the bad, or what we consider bad, we don't learn. If it was all good and perfection, there'd be no purpose, really. We wouldn't make any progress. So we start young and find life ain't quite what it could be. We get self-obsessed, dependent on fixing, and become alcoholics or something else. And then we find recovery, and we find that everything we have done has had a purpose in enabling us to find the way which is good, to good choices, and experiencing spiritual as we make our way. So what helps me in all of this is always the serenity prayer to God of good conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and always for me the wisdom to learn the difference is always just for today.